Hey everyone, hope you're having a great start to your spring break. It is cold out there on this March 18th. Tomorrow evening, 10:06 is the start of spring. But really, I want to talk about the total solar eclipse because we are exactly a little less than 3 weeks away from the total solar eclipse of April 8th, 2024. So I want to know by your comments, are you planning to get to totality? Maybe you don't know about totality, what that is, and exactly where you need to be for this eclipse. I can tell you that if you aren't in totality, you will miss the show. Now, maybe some of you have said you've seen an eclipse before, but you really don't know. You're not sure. You're not positive. I guarantee you didn't see a total solar eclipse in totality. You might have seen a partial. Most people see partials. Partials are basically missing the entire event. I mean, you still get some effects of it, but I'd love to see from your comments. Let me know what you guys are planning to do and where you're planning to be. And do you have any questions about the total solar eclipse? So Stacy says she's headed to Conway. So Stacy, let me go ahead and show you exactly what we've got here with the Conway area and what we're expecting to get in Conway. Now, each area is going to be different, just to let you know. There are going to be different experiences in different locations, and that's just the way a total solar eclipse works. So let's start you off, first of all, with a great resource that we have on our website. This is on knwa.com. And if you click on the weather tab, you'll see at the top left corner, Eclipse 2024. That'll take you right to where you need to go to learn everything about the total solar eclipse. So if you scroll down, you will notice all these little dots right here on the screen. And so if you'll see when you take your mouse and you roll over them, it'll tell you exactly where your location is and also how long totality is. So you can see Little Italy, Ledgewood, Preston, Toadsuck. So if we know Toadsuck is really close to the Conway area, we'll move along. There's Preston, there's Gold Creek. And sometimes it's a little tougher to look at these locations. So why don't we just type in, all right, Conway. Let's see what you could expect in Conway, Arkansas. So there's a look at Conway. Yes, 100% coverage. The partial eclipse will begin at 12:33. The time of maximum coverage will be at 1:53, so just a little after 1:53 in the afternoon. And the total eclipse will begin at 1:51. So totality will last 3 minutes, 52.6 seconds. So just a little under 4 minutes. The closer you are to the center line, the better and longer your totality is. So this is what's really cool about a total solar eclipse. Let me just tell you exactly why I'm so passionate about a total solar eclipse. So on July 11th, 91, I got to see the total solar eclipse of the century. It was a 6-minute, 55-second totality, which, by the way, is nearly triple than the one that was in 2017. That is a long, long totality. It was super dark. The one in 2017, let me know by comments if you saw the 2017 total solar eclipse. If you didn't, then you didn't, you missed the show. But what's really awesome is going to be the best total solar eclipse for basically our generation, because in 2045 there is another total solar eclipse. How about this? Denton says going to Perry County, supporting the best weather team in Arkansas. Appreciate that, Denton. Newton says yes, going to see the eclipse. How about in Dallas? Well, let's talk about Dallas, and I've got some weather graphics here to show you as well as we take a look. So first of all, this is the path of totality. The path of totality is where the moon's shadow passes. If you aren't in that, you miss totality. You miss the total solar eclipse. You miss what's called Bailey's beads. You miss the prominences. You miss the corona. You miss the darkening of the sky. You miss the 360-degree sunset. You miss all that. You're in Watertown, New York, right in the path. Harrison weather camera will be up. Very cool. Love to see that. So let me take you on this eclipse path and we'll tour it. So we'll tour it together. So first of all, we zoom out on the wider view and you can see the purple lines or pink depending on your monitor. And then you've got the blue line. That is the center line of totality. That's where you get the maximum width of the moon's shadow. As we work our way to the northeast, so here's a look at Del Rio, San Antonio. Now, San Antonio is interesting because it really does matter if you're in that gray shaded area, because that's the moon shadow. Because in the city of San Antonio, in downtown, you miss the eclipse. I know that seems hard to believe, but we'll take it to the northeast. And I'm going to show you how fast this moon shadow goes, by the way, because it cooks about 1,600 miles an hour. Hillsboro, Waco is going to be in the path of totality. Dallas will be in the path of totality. That is huge. There's going to be a lot of people watching. And then you got Fort Worth as well. So this is a big metroplex that's going to be experiencing totality. Then as it travels northeast at about 1,600 miles an hour, it'll be making its way into southwest Arkansas at approximately a little before 1:50 in the afternoon on April 8th, 2024, less than 3 weeks away. Now, this is where it gets interesting for the Arkansas area, Fort Smith. I can't stress this enough. If you live in Fort Smith, you're going to have to travel a little bit farther southeast. I know it doesn't seem like much, and I know like the shadow is very, very close to Fort Smith, but the regional airport will miss the shadow. You'll miss totality, and Fort Smith misses totality, and Van Buren misses totality. It's just barely missing it, though. Even though it's 99.9% covered, you still don't get the full effects, if you can believe that. So let's go back to our map here. You'll get the experience in Fort Chaffee. You do, but your totality is going to be very short. And a lot of people don't realize this. So let me get back to this web location here, knwa.com. And we're going to show you exactly how long your totality will be, which is not very long. So if we go over here to Fort Chaffee, White Bluff, your totality is about 57 seconds. So let's type in Barling here. So there's Barling. 55 seconds is your totality time. Whereas if you're in the center line, you get nearly 4 minutes and 20 seconds of totality. One of the longest places will be right on the center line is Atkins. So Atkins, Arkansas, as you can see, 4 minutes and nearly 16 seconds. So there are some areas that are going to experience a longer show, and it gets a lot darker if you're in the center of that totality. But at the same time, if you're on the edge of totality, then there are some things that you'll see a little more, such as Bailey's beads. Bailey's beads is a real cool phenomenon where the moon's terrain, what it does is it causes these little beads to show up on the edge of the sun. I can't stress enough how amazing a total solar eclipse is. I promise you, it's worth the hype. It's worth going to see it. And it's just something you don't want to miss, because the next one is over 20 years from now, 2045. Who knows where I'm going to be in 21 years? There's no way to know. So Clinton, that's right close to the path of totality. Cherokee Village, and then it goes into southeast Missouri, continues northeast through Illinois, going through Ohio and Indiana. Indianapolis is a big metro area that's going to experience totality. Cleveland's another area. And all this happens really quick, too. The moon's shadow goes really fast across the earth. And we're going to show you that. So there's Watertown, there's Burlington. So we're getting up into, as you can see, Vermont. New Hampshire just barely gets eclipsed. And then you see it continuing northeast through Maine and Canada. And so southeastern sections of Canada will get it. So there's the path of totality. So let me tell you exactly what you'll experience. So here's an example of some of the things that you get to experience during totality. You get to see the corona. This is where you have the outer sun's atmosphere. The only time you can witness this is during totality. You also get to experience Bailey's beads. Bailey's beads is those areas right here. You've got a trough, or basically a valley in the moon's terrain. And here you have the high mountains that are basically blocking those glints of sunlight. Then you get to experience the diamond ring. The diamond ring is where right before and usually most likely after totality, you get to see still the corona, the hue around the moon's shadow and the moon, and then you get to see that bright spot of the sun. So some really cool things for the total solar eclipse. Now, this is the path of totality to give you an idea on the timing and to see how fast it goes. So you're going to notice at 127, it's entering the southwest portion of Texas. And you're going to see, look at how fast that thing goes as it's approaching Fort Worth and Dallas at approximately 140. Now, this time isn't exact. It's off a few seconds, but it gives you an idea. Then as it travels into southwest Arkansas, just a little before 150, it only takes a few minutes for that moon shadow to pass over the entire natural state. Let me go back here and we'll kind of step through this so you can see. There's Conway, there's Little Rock. So 154 entering close to Jonesboro. Now, Jonesboro is an area that's in totality, but as you can see, the moon shadow is a lot less. It's a lot less in width. So that, of course, means your time for totality is going to be less. If you're in the center of that totality line, you get the moon shadow a lot longer and you get to experience more of the eclipse. So some really cool stuff with that. But yeah, Jonesboro will see totality. As you see, it moves off to the northeast, continues to move through southeast Missouri, the Missouri Boot Heel. Poplar Bluff is really close to the center line. Carbondale as well. And then it continues northeast. So we'll move it along here. You guys will get to see essentially, there you get to see Indiana, Indianapolis, and so 305. So anyways, let's go back to some comments here. Looks like the Gaither Mountain camera will totally based on your map. Gaither Mountain, let's see where that is. I think it does miss, but I think you can see the eclipse shadow off in the distance. So let's check it out here as we go to this eclipse map, and we'll look for Harrison. So Harrison does miss totality, 99.6%. I mean, 0.04 away from totality, but it really does make a difference. Now, there are a lot of other ways to see where the path of totality will be, just to let you know. Let me go ahead and bring this up real quick so you can see exactly what we're looking at. So this is an eclipse map right here. That's on time and day. One of my favorites because it tells you the start of the partial. It tells you the start of the total eclipse, the maximum eclipse time when you're in the center of the moon shadow, and how long the total eclipse will last. So if we zoom in on Gaither Mountain here, like you mentioned, it does miss totality. Look at that, 99.99%. So if we're pointing that camera to the southeast, we should be able to see the moon shadow racing across southeastern Boone County, and Newton County will be impacted, parts of Newton County. So if we go back to, let me show you, our WeatherBug camera looking at Harrison, Gaither Mountain. It's dark already, but that would give you an idea. It would have a really, really good view. We have friends flying from Seattle to experience this with us. Farmington will be 98.44% covered. So you know what that means? That means that you don't get to see much, Jacob. You get to see you get to see partial, but that's about it. Will it matter how close you are to the center of the path versus barely on the edge? Yes, it is, Denton, and we showed that before. And I know you probably made that comment before I showed the Jonesboro area and how it's kind of on the edge of totality. It does matter. It makes it a lot less for the time of totality. And you want to experience as much as you can because it is awe-inspiring. It is life-changing when you see that moon covering up the sun in complete totality. Now, here's another thing, too. Eclipse glasses. If you guys have eclipse glasses, you want to put them on during the partial eclipse. But during totality, you don't need them. You can take them off. You can look at the sun with your own eyes. That's what makes it really special too. Yeah, you are on the outside of Morrilton. We are going to have 4 minutes 15 seconds to 4 minutes 20 seconds of totality. So Morrilton is very good. Russellville is in totality. In fact, that's where a lot of things will be going on. We're talking NASA's going to be there. Watch parties are going to be there. There's a lot of events that are going on. And by the way, if you're wondering about more about this, you can go to our website. We've got an Eclipse page totally dedicated to the eclipse with so many things about it. Like, for instance, experts say it's all or nothing. Um, there's a list of Arkansas schools that are closed for April 8th. You've got this Arkansas Eclipse Map. You type in your location and it'll let you know. Like if we type in Fayetteville, Arkansas, click on that, 98.55% covered. All of Northwest Arkansas misses totality. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal to, to miss totality by an hour and a half, but it is. It's a big deal, and it's a huge difference in what you'll experience. Here's a countdown to it, as you can see. Cloudy, likely in these places on the day of the eclipse. We don't know that. What was Arkansas like during previous total solar eclipses? So we got all these stories on here, and you go to knwa.com, you click on the weather tab, and you go to Eclipse 2024, and it'll load it up. Also, if you want to learn more about the science of a total solar eclipse, we've got this. This is a weather blog that I created. It's got everything in there. What the partial eclipse looks like. This is obviously not to scale, but the different types of shadows that you see, the penumbra and the umbra, the two different types of shadows, the ring of fire that we had in October of last year, because the moon was farther away from the earth where it wasn't close enough where it covered the entire earth. Also, what you'll experience, you've seen this graphic before, the sun's corolla, Bailey's beads. There's a 360-degree sunset on the horizon. This is an example of some Bailey beads pictures. Look at that. You can see those little glints of sunlight. By the way, that reddish hue right there, those are sometimes solar flares. Another thing that will make this eclipse different than the 2017 eclipse is, besides totality being longer, you also have essentially getting close to solar maximum. So we're in 2024. A lot of sunspots are occurring. There's a big sunspot that's rounding the sun's eastern limb that will be coming up soon. You can also see these solar prominences. Look at, and you can see these with your own eyes. I can't stress enough how amazing it is, and how it gets dark is incredible. Here's some examples of the eclipse and the 360-degree sunset that you see. And Charles Peak, he went to very close to me in Missouri for the Path of Totality in 2017. And this is video from him on YouTube. You could check this out. This is an amazing video. There you get to see the very last seconds of partial. This is what Northwest Arkansas will see, but then that's it. Next thing you know, it'll start brightening up again. Yes, it will get a little darker, but then you're going to see right there the incredible portion of where you get to see totality. And that's his wife, Kathy, that is just beside herself, how beautiful it is. It really is incredible. I can't urge you enough to get to totality. It's a little bit of a drive for Arkansans. If you're not in the path, it's just like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. I know there's going to be over 1 million people coming here, and it's worth it. I'm telling you. There you see right there a star, Venus in the sky. Sometimes you can see Mercury. For the eclipse of 2024, you'll be able to see 6 planets in the sky. If it's clear. Now, here's the diamond ring. I'm going to show you the diamond ring. This is the last thing you'll get to see. Incredible. After totality, a big, giant diamond ring in the sky. And then at this point, you can't have your eyes looking at the sun without protection anymore. You got to put on those eclipse glasses. I can tell you it is really bright. So there's a look at the diamond ring. So again, that path of totality, slicing through Arkansas. Mark your calendars. We're only 3 weeks away. We were talking about this for years. here's some of the areas that are going to be impacted by the eclipse. And for Russellville, someone was asking about Russellville. These are the exact times for Russellville. So the partial eclipse begins at 12:32, just a little before 12:33 in the afternoon. The full eclipse begins at 1:50 approximately, just a few seconds before 1:50. Maximum eclipse is just a little before 1:52, and the full eclipse ends at 1:54. So the time of the duration of totality is just over 4 minutes. And then it takes a while for the partial eclipse to end. So the entire event lasts just about 2.5 hours, a little bit longer. This is the time that is the most exciting right here. When you get to the next half of the partial eclipse, where the moon is moving away from the sun, that's where it gets a little less exciting, and then you get a lot of traffic on the roadways. So let me see if we got additional comments on here. So let's see here. Oh yeah, we do have. This will be my third eclipse. Yes, I saw the July 11th, 1991 eclipse. I saw the August 21st, 2017 eclipse, which, by the way, it wasn't as dark as I was expecting. And I didn't know why until I realized, yeah, the moon's shadow is a lot narrower. And if the time of totality is shorter, then the moon's shadow is narrower. This one will be twice as dark, and you will be amazed. Nothing, I don't think, will beat, though, the total solar eclipse of July 11th, 91. I mean, that was a point where the moon was at what's called perigee, which is at its closest point to the Earth. So it took a long time for that moon to cross the sun, and it was pretty incredible. My chickens, turkeys, peacocks, and goats are going to be really confused. Will be completely dark midday. It does get dark for about 4 minutes. It's pretty wild. I can hear my wife crying during totality in my video. I know. Charles, your video is amazing, and it's just incredible. So it's a great example. Hoping the forecast is clear for the solar eclipse. I've got a car full of camera gear with solar filters ready to watch the eclipse. It's funny you mentioned about cloud cover, because I do want to end the eclipse stream with this. This is a look at the cloud cover from April 8th, 1979, right through the path of totality during the afternoon at 2 o'clock. So here is a look at this. We're going to put it into motion, and you're going to see basically some years it's totally cloudy, other years it's totally clear. The weather can get a little active in April. And here's an example of a great day in Arkansas in 1985. 86, some places. 88 would be great. 89, yes. 1990, 91, not good. 92, okay. 93, 94, 95. Wow, those are good years. Look at that. Totally clear. 97, terrible. 98, okay in spots. 99, look at that. That is a mess. Big old huge storm system. 99 was a La Nina year. 2000, quiet. 2001, cloudy. 2002, cloudy. 2003, huge upper level low. That looks like it's cold enough to snow, which, by the way, in 2003, there was some big severe weather in 2003, including the May extended tornado outbreak. 2004, clear. 2005 was clear. 2006 was okay. 2007, look at Southwest Texas, not good. Jonesboro is where you need to go. There's a look at 2008, totally cloudy, terrible day. And if my memory serves me correctly, that looks like severe weather that day. You got a cumulus field. You can see the moisture streaming from the Gulf of Mexico. Here's a look at 2009. Yes, that would be incredible. 2010, okay. 2011, not bad. 2012, cloudy. 2013, terrible. 14, not great. 15, pretty suspect. 2016, okay. Do you see how there's no pattern? There's no rhyme or reason. There's no telling what the cloud forecast is going to be like, which makes me a little nervous, to say the least. There's 2019. If you're in a plane, that's the best place to be. Look at 2020. Now, that would be incredible because it's cloudy just to the south of the center line of totality. There's 2021. Big, huge storm system, but not around here. 2022, I remember that was a crummy day, but 2023, I already know was beautiful. Look at that. Great weather, no clouds. So, what does that mean for the cloud cover forecast? Well, we're too far out to tell you exactly what the clouds are going to be like. Too far out. There will be a photography class in Springdale on Saturday. Ah, yes, very, very cool. We're talking about that on our newscast. And it really is a spectacular thing. So I've got to get going here because I've got my 9 o'clock newscast, but I just want to summarize. We're less than 3 weeks away exactly to this day. Make sure you plan for where you want to be at. It's really important for that. Let me go ahead and bring up the comments that Charles Peak just mentioned about the photography class. So there will be a photography class of the eclipse this Saturday in Springdale. And check out PSNWA for details if interested. And you got a Facebook page. I think that's the Facebook page right there. It's a little long and you can't link it. So maybe you can click on it on the comments. That would be nice. Got to get your eclipse bucket. So like I said, it's totality or bust. If you're not in the path of totality, you will miss the show. I promise you, you will be underwhelmed. You won't think it was the most amazing thing you've ever seen. But the people that are going to experience the eclipse in totality will say it's amazing. Everybody that saw it in 2017 says there's no way they're going to miss it in 2024 if they can help it. So, Arlene, I'm definitely, I think my audio is okay, so you might want to turn it up. I don't think I'm muted, and I know people can hear. So, all right, guys, well, that does it. We'll continue to educate you as we get closer. And if you're wondering about, a place to get eclipse glasses at the last minute, you can visit, and this is a plug for me. We've got eclipse glasses, scoffemporium.com. We've got some orders that we're still taking, and we can get them sent out before the eclipse. So go ahead, and if you don't have your eclipse glasses, scoffemporium.com. Can't miss it. Two versions that my son created, and we had some help make, and they're custom. They're pretty cool. So, all right, guys, take care. We'll let you know more about those as we get closer. But you have a good one. We'll catch you later. Bye.